Hello, I'm getting ready to go game dev networking. Time for another game dev tip. For most game devs, you'll inevitably have to network at some point in your career. This could be for business reasons, or even just to make friends, so that you don't lose your mind while you work on a game for 5 years that only 5 people will ever play or see. Many of you are going to be socially awkward, maladjusted people because you make games, and you make games because you love games, and you love games because you never really belonged in the real world. Or you're just below the age of 20, and so they're just a normal part of everyday life, and everyone else older than you is the ones that are the weird ones. But joking aside, it can be a weird, strange and slightly nerve-wracking thing, especially if you're on your own to go networking at an event. You might be standing there looking at a bunch of other people who are also looking at you awkwardly, but none of you know what the first thing to say is or how to start. So here's a couple of quick tips based on my own experience. First of all, try to be yourself. If you like wearing certain kinds of clothes that are a bit different or strange, then do it. I mean, look at me. I look great. Secondly, whilst it's important to talk about why you're both there, which is the games that you're making, it's also important to talk about normal things, things that make you who you are. I have a great story for this. Back when I was at university, they used to hold this International Games and Animation Festival, and we'd have lots of people come from all around the world to give us talks from the industries. Anyway, there's this lead designer from a local studio, relatively local anyway. He was standing there and he had a nice leather jacket on, and I was going through a phase where I had 7 different coloured leather jackets. Don't ask me why, I don't know why it was. And there were all these guys, all my age, all of us, none of us had really made a game yet, we're all still at uni. They were standing around awkwardly with drinks and asking questions about the company he works for, kind of hoping that, something would come of it. At the end of the day, he's just being polite, doing his role as a veteran in the industry. It's not that interesting or memorable, and he's not going to remember you. So here I come, cut through the crowd like a samurai, and I just say, "Love your jacket, by the way." And he suddenly turns around and goes, "Oh, hey, I love your jacket too," because I was wearing a red leather jacket. Then we start talking about how he really wants the purple jacket in Takeshi Mikano's Ichi the Killer or something like that. It's a great film, don't watch it if you don't like gore. And I had just happened to see that fairly recently, and we connected over leather jackets. Anyway, lo and behold, I actually meet this guy later on at another event, and he remembers me because of that interaction, and we had a bond already, some sort of rapport to build upon, and we didn't even really speak about games before. Yes, we ended up talking about all that stuff later as we got to know each other, but it wasn't how it started. And the final tip, don't get too drunk.